is M. Rahman and we welcome you to our new topic complex sentence lecture 12 English version lecture in which we are going to study noun clause. Actually, complex sentence can be divided into three parts. You can say it can be seen in three clauses: noun clause, adjective clause or an adverb clause. In this way, today we are going to discuss the functions of noun clause. In previous lectures, you have already gone through what is the definition of noun clause and how we can identify a clause as a noun clause. Now we will discuss what the function is of noun clause. Dear viewers, now let's begin noun clause. Before I explain all this, I just want to make you understand once again what is noun clause. A clause is a group of words that is a part of a sentence that has its own subject and predicate. Because it is noun clause and you know noun has its own functions, so it will match the functions of noun here. As the noun functions in a sentence, so as with noun clause. The difference is noun is a word, a person, place, thing, animal and others. In the same way, clause is a group of words with main verb and it is used as a noun. So in functions it is similar to noun. Let's understand. First is as a subject. You know what is subject? If we ask a question in a sentence, we ask who, which and what, and the answer of these words is subject. So as with noun clause, you can see here what you have done. If you see this part and I ask what you have done, this part is subject. Now how can we say that this is subject? If we ask what is right, if we ask what is right, the answer of what that is placed before linking verb and the sentence sounds to be affirmative, assertive, then we can say that this is your subject. And in this subject you find your subject and predicate. Because of having subject and predicate, it is clause and it is placed on the place of noun. That's why it is a noun clause. Now let's understand here how does this work here. Suppose I say the fact is right. The fact is right. You see here the fact is noun. And if I change these words and we have a subject and predicate on this part, what you have done is right. It means it is noun clause used as a subject. That he did it is very strange. In the same way you can see here, this may be in an assertive form. Whether you use question or an assertive sentence, you follow the structure of an assertive sentence here, and this is noun clause and you can say it is subordinate clause basically. Whether he had done was not clear, then this is subordinate clause, this is subordinate clause, this one is also subordinate clause. These blue parts are subordinate clause and known as noun clause, and they are used as a subject here. I think it is clear. If you have any query, you can write in your comment section. Now let's come to this point number 2, as an object of a verb. You know very well what is an object of a verb. An object of a verb is can be found out if you ask a question whom, what and which. I am teaching. Who is teaching? This is the answer of subject. If we create a question who. I am teaching English. What is being taught by me? English. Okay. I am teaching some of the students. Whom am I teaching? Some of the students. The answer of whom, you can see here the answer of who, what and which answer will be an object. And noun clause can be used on the place of an object. Because noun is used on the place of an object, so as with noun clause, Let's see here. We have a new example. I knew this fact. This is object. What did I know? You can say, suppose I say, I know you. Whom do I know? This fact. Now we change this object and we will place here a part that has its own subject and predicate. You can see here, I knew that my students would succeed. From here, you can see this is placed on the place of object. And this has its subject and this has its own predicate, and the whole part after this new is acting, is working as an object. That's why you can say as an object of a verb, noun place can be used. And it is called subordinate clause. The part after verb that begins is called subordinate clause. And I would like to ask, what topic is being discussed? Complex sentence. And this is the first type of complex sentence that you can see here, that is known as noun clause. Now let's see the next example. Can you find which part can be called subordinate clause? Yes, of course. The part written in this blue color is called subordinate clause, and this is the object of think. Think is a verb, and where he would stay is a part which has its own subject and predicate and is used as an object. And the whole group of words which has its own subject and predicate is known as subordinate clause, and you can say noun clause, and it is used on object. Now students, let's understand point number 3 as a complement. Now first we'll have to understand what is complement. Complement is a word or group of words that completes the sentence. Okay, it can complete the sense of a sentence, it can complete the sense of some noun or adjective. Now let's understand how we can use it. For example, before I write here, let's understand, I am giving an example. You can write it in your notebook if you are taking it down. I appointed Joseph monitor. I appointed Joseph. If I finish my sentence here, a curiosity arises in our minds and we ask, so what? Then our answer will be monitor. Monitor will satisfy the curiosity of everyone. So monitor is a complement here. In the same way, let's see what part completes the sentence. Our opinion is that he is an honest man. We can also write this that in blue color because it is also the part of this subordinate clause. This is complement. And if you feel some of the students who don't know the difference between object and complement, please attention here, give attention here. To declare it as an object, we must have main verb here. You know, finite verb, first form, second form and third form, but there is no main verb. Suppose our opinion is plus some verb related with ing form, and I say this man is teaching me something. This man is teaching me something. Teaching is placed after is, then is helping verb and teaching is main verb. But this is only is, and whenever we use is, are, am, was, were without main verb are called linking verbs. And you see everywhere there is linking verb. So if you have your subject, you have your linking verb, and after linking verb you have a part that has its own subject and predicate. We declare it, we know it as a complement, and then we say our opinion is that he is an honest man. That he is an honest man. In the same way, there is one more linking verb, and why they are working now. You can say that, why, whether, and what. Okay. These 4 points especially are used in noun clause. That for assertive statements, question words, whether we have when we have doubt, or whenever we include everything, then we use what or whatever. My concern was how he would recover his loss. Now this part will also be called subordinate clause, it will be called noun clause, and one more thing is there, this is used as a complement because it is used after verb to be. To be means linking verb, means is, are, am, was, were. Now let's see here on the point number 4, as an object of a preposition. Now you have gone through from this point, what is an object? Object may be of many things. If it is placed after verb, it is called object of a verb. If it is placed after a preposition, then it will be called object of a preposition. And if it is placed after infinitive, it will be called object of an infinitive, and we will use it. Now let's understand point number 4, as an object of a preposition. Means we will have something in form of preposition, and then we will use noun. And after preposition, whenever you use an object, as you know that it is object, we use in objective form. Between him and you, between you and me, we use objective case after preposition. Now let's understand here. His students believe in what he says. Believe is a verb here. After believe, it's compulsion that we use in, believe in, and after in you have used in form of an object, a part of a sentence that has its own subject and predicate. What is the difference between this and this? There is no preposition. There is no preposition, and you have normal a part of a sentence with verb, but there is compulsion of preposition, and it is an object of preposition, not this believe. Is it clear? Whenever you have a compulsory preposition after your verb and you place a part of a sentence including subject and predicate, is known as object of a preposition. Now you see, there is no doubt about what he knows. About what he knows, it means it will be called the object of about. Pay attention to what he says, it will be called the object of this. We were not aware of what he would get, I hope it is understood very well. As an object of an infinitive, as I have already declared, the word verb, preposition and infinitive, whenever we use noun after them, are called object of them. In the same way, an object of an infinitive. What will you do? She wanted to know what is an infinitive. Infinitive is a combination of two plus first form of verb, you can say base form of verb, and it can be used as a noun. Okay, and whenever we have an infinitive of two plus first form and which represents a purpose, is shown as 2 plus first form, and whenever we have a part after 2 plus first form other than verb, is called object of an infinitive. She wanted is a main verb, it means finite verb is a non-finite. Then suppose there is no to know, then this will be called an object of a verb. But if we have written to know, it will be called the object of to know. To know is called as infinitive, is known as infinitive. Then he came to find the object is this. This whole part is called object. He came to find that there were many useful books. As a complement of an adjective. Complement of an adjective. We have gone through what a complement is, and now let's understand what an adjective is. An adjective is a word that says something about a noun or pronoun. You can say in simple words that it describes the quality, it describes some features, or it says something, it adds something to noun or pronoun. Suppose he is a good student, then good says something about the student, then good student, good is the quality of the student. That's why we can say it is an adjective. What is an adjective? Good is an adjective of the noun student. Now, but we are going to complete the sense of adjective. Not only adjective, but we are going further the sense of adjective. I am confident. Confident is an adjective, and we are explaining what type of confident here, that he would get selected. It means whatever we are saying, writing, speaking further in terms with confident, that is complement of adjective, that is making the sense of adjective complete, and making the sense of whole sentence complete is known as complement. Now it is a complement of an adjective. In the same way, we were not sure whether he would go abroad. Sure is an adjective, and this part will be called subordinate clause, noun clause, and complement of an adjective. The complement is written in red color. In apposition to a noun. What is apposition? Let's understand first. You can see here noun plus noun clause, but there may be no noun clause simply. Let's understand what is a case in apposition. Suppose I say Raju, my friend, came. I selected a short sentence. Then Raju and my friend both are the same person. These two words denote the same person. Then Raju and my friend gives the sense of the same person, and these two double type of subjects and objects placing after one another is called case in apposition. I met my friend, comma, the son of principal. Then my friend and the son of principal are purely noun, son and the son of principal, noun phrase. But we will place subject and predicate in the part that I say case in apposition. This combination is called case in apposition, and we will place a noun and subject and predicate here, and we will turn it into a clause. The news is the first noun, and when we define a news further, that he got a job, in which I have a subject, I have a verb, subject and predicate both, was true. This is the best part of the sentence. Noun apposition, and your rest of the clause. This is called subordinate clause, this is principal clause. In the same way, the plan is defined here in blue words, and then you have your principal clause. At last, an object of a participle. Now let's understand what is participle. Participle is a base form plus ing that does the work of adjective, of an adjective, is known as participle. Then what do you do in participle? Suppose while running I saw a boy. Then while running display the activity or quality of pronoun I, that is used in place of a subject as a pronoun. Now you see there are some participles concerning, considering, thinking. Whenever you have ing form here, whenever you have ing form and that acts as an adjective, this is called participle. And after participle, in the same way as you have object of an infinitive, you have placed after 2 plus first form, then it will be it has become the object of infinitive. In the same way, when you place a part of a clause, clause means noun clause or subordinate clause that has its subject and predicate after this ing form, it is called object of this participle. Object of this participle. Participle means first form plus ing that acts as an adjective, and this this object has its own subject and predicate. Because of having subject and predicate, because of keeping subject and predicate, it is known as clause. That's why it is noun clause. Now you see noun plus noun clause. Noun, you can see here a noun and noun clause. Noun, that's noun. this is an object of participle. Thinking is a participle, and we are giving this clause as an object of this thinking. Then we say object of a participle and then your principal clause. This is your subordinate clause, and this black written part is called your principal clause. Then in the same way, considering is a participle here, and it is used as an object of participle. It has its own subject and predicate, and then you say it is principal clause. It is also called noun clause and subordinate clause. I hope students you have gone through this lecture very well, and this comes into functional grammar, and you have observed all the functions of noun clause here. Now you will go through in the next lecture that will be based on adjective. I hope you have gone very well, you have gone through very well, and you have enjoyed this lecture a lot and understood everything. So students, keep on watching RSC classes of English language, and if you like our lecture, please don't forget to subscribe our channel RSC classes of English language.